Hey, what's up everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. The name of this video, The First Day of School, Welcome to Class, Introduction to Good Computer Posture. Computer posture can be a very boring and painful topic. I try to create open-minded content that is relatable, actionable, and a very valuable use of our time. I created this channel to be exactly what I wish I could reference 20 years ago when I started sitting at a computer desk 40 hours per week. My content is unique to my own experience of sitting at a computer full-time for the last 20 years, as well as a lifelong athlete and exerciser. I combine the two. Physical therapists and personal trainers are great. They have their role, but they don't sit as much as we do, and they don't fully understand the stubborn chronic tension that we're up against. My intent is to help bridge that gap by telling my story, what has worked for me and what hasn't. Here's a quick look at my website, sittingposture.com. There's a bunch of free resources on here we'll talk about later. Just to mention them real quick, there's a free computer posture checklist you can download. You can also go here and enter your email address if you want one weekly email with the content that I created that week, whether it's an article on my website or a YouTube video or some other content to help improve computer posture. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality, sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own health care. Quick background on me before we get started. Todd Bowen is my name, information technology degree. I've taken classes such as workstation ergonomics and user experience. Lifelong athlete and exerciser, as I've already mentioned, and 20 years of a sedentary lifestyle. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's the number one goal. 2, increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity. So sitting at a computer is not the enemy. Repetitive strain is the enemy. Working in any one position for long periods of time is the enemy. Even if we have good computer posture, if we're contracting the same muscles all day long, 40 hours a week, that could cause repetitive strain injuries, even if we have good posture. I know it sounds crazy, but the first goal is to eliminate the bad postures that we sit in, and then find those good positions, and then sit in multiple good positions throughout the day, as well as stand, working standing at a standing workstation. I'll talk about that in future videos, and I have talked about it in a couple of my articles already, if you want to check those out on my website. So yeah, working in multiple good positions throughout the day. The 3 worst injuries that I had from sitting at a computer were internal shoulder rotation from using a mouse and a keyboard. We tend to naturally internally rotate our shoulders when we reach for that. As soon as we reach for that mouse and the keyboard, internal shoulder rotation is not always a bad thing. You know, baseball players throwing balls, athletes, you push open the door. All this requires internal shoulder rotation. The bad thing is holding that internal shoulder rotation for long periods of time, especially up to 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Number 2, one of the worst injuries I've had from sitting at a computer, spinal disc degeneration from slouching forward. This is something that happens over time. We'll talk about that in future videos, as well as knee and ankle dysfunction from not resting my feet flat on the floor. Believe it or not, the smallest move, the smallest engagement of one side of the ankle and extension of the other side of the ankle over long periods of time can really create a lot of confusion all the way throughout the legs, especially in the 2 main joints, the knees and the ankles. So let's talk about the definition of repetitive strain injury according to Google and Oxford Languages. A condition in which the prolonged performance of repetitive actions, typically with the hands, causes pain or impairment of function in the tendons and muscles involved. I know this is terribly technical medical definition. I try not to get into stuff like this. So I've made a couple of edits to this. I've taken out typically with the hands. I don't know why they put that in there. Repetitive strain injury can happen anywhere. Yes, it does happen often in the hands, but it can happen anywhere. So I wouldn't put that in the definition. Notice I highlighted in red prolonged and repetitive. These are two very, very important words in this definition. The other two important words are tendons and muscles. So the only body parts that's in this definition is tendons and muscles. I would actually also add ligaments, myofascial tissue, any kind of soft tissue that's being held in a position for a long period of time. It is susceptible to repetitive strain injuries, and what it's going to be at sittingposture.com, our goal is to reduce the possibility of repetitive strain injuries. So topics we're going to cover that are directly related to how good or bad our computer posture is. Body awareness. We need to, I mentioned earlier, spinal disc degeneration in my spine. So the spine has natural curves in it. It's not naturally straight. So when people say sit up straight, that's kind of misleading. We don't want to necessarily sit up straight. Our upper body should be straight, but our spine should keep those natural curves intact, because if they're compressed or if they're overextended, if we sit up too straight, that could cause spinal disc degeneration. And body awareness is something that we need to increase to know that those curves in the spine are still being held intact. Hydration, directly related to sitting at a computer, how well we sit at a computer desk. Sitting at a computer 8 hours a day is an endurance event. It might not be a long race or a long swim or a long sports event, excuse me, but sitting at a desk for 8 hours is an endurance event, a physical endurance event. So hydration with quality water and electrolytes and minerals is very important. So we'll go over that in future videos. Sleep quality over the last few months, I've done a deep dive on sleep quality, and mine has increased a ton. I'll talk about products, no paid promotion or anything, just products that I've paid my own money for, that the companies don't compensate me at all. Just products that I really believe in that helped improve my quality of life. I would think that I would be doing a disservice if I didn't share those companies and those products. Breathing. I talk a lot about breath work. You'll hear me reference a guy by the name of Brian McKenzie and his website, shiftadapt.com. Incredible resource, tons of free information. He does have a program you can sign up for, a monthly program as well. But he gives out tons of free content. He's really changed my entire, the way I look at breathing and stress, and as well as posture. And obviously the elephant in the room, we'll talk about posture, nutrition, how that's directly related to how good or bad our computer posture is, and also self-healing, different ways of self-healing. Again, not paid promotion, but different products that I've used, that I paid my own money for, that I really, really believe in, that have helped improve my quality of life. The key descriptions that I use on sittingposture.com, there's many ways to describe posture mistakes and ways to correct them. Compressed, typically like if we're slouching forward, the anterior portion, the front side of our body is slouched and compressed. Overextended, if we're compressed and leaning forward, then our back muscles are typically overextended and they lengthen, they're being used too much. So what this does is this is like the two opposites right here, and they create a lot of confusion throughout the body when one side's compressed and the other side's overextended. And so these are the two bad words, if you will, and these are the good words. Balanced and neutral. Compressed and overextended is something we want to avoid most of the time, if not all the time. Balanced or neutral is where we want to try to work in as much as possible, and we'll go over how to do that in future videos. So some other free resources that I have available on my website, sittingposture.com. I write one article every week. If you want to be notified weekly on what that article is, just go to my website, sittingposture.com, and sign up for my weekly email newsletter. I only send one email a week. I don't spam. On occasion, I may send a second email a week on a special occasion, but normally it's just one email a week on Fridays. You can unsubscribe anytime with one click of a button. I also have that computer posture checklist that's available for free download. All this stuff's for free. Go to sittingposture.com/checklist if you want to go directly to that link, and that will be a PDF form that's emailed to you directly, and you can print it out easily, post it at your desk. 14 steps to have good computer posture while sitting. This computer posture checklist is just focused on sitting. We'll talk about standing workstations in the future though, for sure. I'm actually standing right now as I'm recording this video. And of course, my new YouTube channel that you're probably watching this on, youtube.com/@sittingposture, is where you can subscribe. Don't forget the @ sign. That'll get you there. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life, and that's something to be very proud of. Again, reminders on the free resources, sittingposture.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@sittingposture. And finally, if this video is helpful to you, please do me a favor and forward this video to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full-time. The more people see my videos, the more ability it gives me to create more content and share my story. So I really appreciate you guys, all the shares, and please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next video.